The shop's in full swing and I've got the sawdust flying. Let's get started. Brett here, welcome back to the shop. Today is June 23rd, 2022. The reason I say that is I've got a show coming up, an artisan show coming up around the second week in August, and it'll run for 3 consecutive weekends. It's called Shaker Woods, and we'll get into more of that as we get closer to those dates. But I really don't have a whole lot to show for that show. This last few years I've been so busy that my inventory has kind of dwindled down to nothing, and so I need to get some things ready for this show. And if you follow me and you follow this channel, then you know that when I build something I always try to work ahead, and so that I have some things already started. And so I spent the morning here going through the inventory and can take a look and see what I can put together for the show. So this is what I've come up with so far. So I've got a large horse here that is pretty well complete. I just need to make the neck muscles for this, and then it's pretty well ready to go. Now the nice thing is with this large horse is I also have a stand that's all done. It's up top. I just need to pull that down and clean it up. So I've got that stand done, and so I'm that far ahead. Over here I've got another large horse started. I don't think he's going to make the show this year, but at least I have that much started on a large horse. Here leaning up against it, I've got a couple of bottom body blocks for medium horses started. So this one over here is for a horse for a glider stand. This one over here will be for a horse on bow rockers. So I've got bottom body blocks. Here I've got a couple of small horse bodies started. So this one's for a glider stand. This one is for a bow rocker. Now back here we just finished up those horses on rockers, so I went ahead and I made a couple of extra while I was building them, thinking about the show in August. So I've got a small oak bow rocker completed, and this one here is a medium with cherry, so it won't take too long to get that one. It won't take much to finish this up, so we've got that much done. Over here on the bench I've got a medium head that's all carved, or I'm sorry, all complete and ready to carve. This one here is a medium that needs the neck, so we'll work on that. Here I've got some neck muscles all cut out. I believe these are for medium horses here, so I've got that done. I've got some leg muscles cut out, so this is for, I think these are large, these are mediums, so I've got those ones done. And I've got some legs here for a medium bow horse. And these have been laying around the shop for a few years, and the reason I haven't used these yet is because they're a bit thin. I don't know what I was thinking when I was cutting these out, but I planed them down a little bit too thin and then realized it later on, so I just kind of set these aside. But as luck would have it, I do have some thin material, some basswood, that would be, I think, perfect for this. So I think what I'll do is glue and scab that thin material onto those legs and then recut them and get them to the proper thickness. So that won't be too bad. So we've got those cut out. And I've also pulled down some basswood off the shelf that is wide enough for legs, so we'll get those all cut out. So I've got a show, that's coming up in 6-7 weeks or so is when it starts. So I always do like to challenge myself. And so I think what I'm going to do here for a few weeks is just really push myself and let's just see how many horses, see what I can get done for the show coming up. So I think that's what we're going to do. That's the goal, is to try to get as much done as we can for August for the show so that we can have a nice showing. So let's get after it. So I'm back over here at my bandsaw again. I've already cut all of my legs out, and I decided I'm going to cut a couple more bottom body blocks out for all of the horses that I'm going to be putting together. I have a couple of body blocks. One's already cut, the other one's going to get cut. Those are for glider rockers, medium glider rockers. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and cut a couple more out for bow rockers. And I wanted to show you all this. On a bandsaw, of course, those of you that are familiar with bandsaws, your table will tilt, you know, all the way to your right as far basically as it'll allow you, but it will limit you to a few degrees when you go to tilt it to the left. And that's because, of course, the frame, the cover, everything will stop that. On the bottom body blocks of my glider horses, the back side, where the back legs, the rear legs attach, those are cut. This is cut at a 15-degree angle. Now again, cutting it on the right side, no problem. Cutting it on the left side, I don't have 15 degrees. So I went ahead and I took a piece of 3/4 inch plywood and made up a bit of a shim, and I glued a shim on the end of it so I can slide it in and lock it in tight where the groove is for my slide miter gauge would go. And that way I can set my table to around 8 degrees, and my shim here will make up the rest of it and give me my 15-degree angle. So that's what I've been using for a number of years. It works really well. I just hang it up on a nail with the rest of my patterns when I need it, and I just pull it down when I'm making these bottom body blocks. So we'll go ahead, we'll get these ones cut out. I'll go ahead and get the other ones cut, and then I'm going to head back over to the bench and just start assembling horses. Okay, so that was a busy week, but I'm real thrilled with what I was able to get done for the show coming up. Let's just recap and let me go over what all I've gotten done so far. So again, here we go. We'll start with the two small ones. So I've got a glider and I have a small on bow rockers. The bodies are pretty well put together other than the head and the neck and that kind of thing. So we've got those ready to go, almost ready to go. We have two medium horses on bow rockers. The bodies are all glued. Take the clamps off, and again, we're just to the head, the neck, and the top body block. So we're real close there too. Again, we've got two mediums on safety stands. So we're in the same process there: head, top body block, and neck. And then those are good. And of course, we have our big guy over here, and we already have the head cut out and the neck muscles. So again, we're real good there. So really thrilled with what I've been able to get done so far. I think next week we're going to focus on heads. So I've got heads cut out and they're glued. So next week when we get into the shop, it's just going to be nothing but heads. So I'm just going to line them up and I'm just going to roll right on down the line. What I'd like to do, the goal is I want to get a large head carved. I want to get two medium heads carved, and let's try to get a small head carved so that we can have that much done. And at the show, I do demonstrate. The show, of course, coming up, it's called Shaker Woods. We'll get into that next week. I'll let you in a little bit more on what's going on there. That starts August 13th. So I do like to have some things there to demonstrate, so I'll have some heads there. So I'll work on that there. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this week. I apologize. It's going to be a short video this time around. And I know I'm just kind of rolling right through, so a lot of it was just high speed, but when I get going, I'm just going to kind of just roll right on through. And I hope I'm going to try to take a little bit more time to talk about what I'm doing. But next week we'll work on heads, so I'll just line them up and we're just going to go to town on carving heads, so you're not going to want to miss that. Again, thanks a lot for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, please think about giving it a thumbs up and also think about subscribing. And you can check me out on Instagram, of course, at Greenfield Woodworks, my Facebook page, greenfieldwoodworks.com, and Facebook, of course, Greenfield Woodworks. And once again, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you here at the shop next week.